Go ahead, guys.
With Fred Warner, have you seen an appreciable second-year jump as far as his, I know he has the radio on his helmet, as far as his command of the defense?
Yes, of course. But Fred was pretty unusual as a rookie, too. He had pretty good command very fast right when he came in. I mean, the first day on the field, you could tell, he's a smart guy who pays attention a lot and obviously works on it by himself when he's away. So he was really good at it last year, and now it's second nature for him, and a lot of guys depend on him out there.
With new additions on the defense, given the fact that he is the guy kind of in charge of the communication, how much of an adjustment is it for him when he sees 4 or 5 key guys in around him?
I mean, he's speaking, so he's running everything. So it's those guys getting used to him, and I think the new guys, you'd have to ask the new guys that are here, but I think they're pretty excited what they've seen with Fred so far. I mean, he's very confident when he makes a call. He's very clear with how he says it and stuff, and he's not at all scared to communicate. He's not scared to be wrong. He'll see what he thinks, and he'll rip it out there.
Kyle, I think the very first pass CJ threw, it looked like he intended it for the defense. What happened on that?
From what I saw, I'll tell you better when I watch the film. But when you lose your back in a blitz pickup, there's always a guy hanging out there. And so you got to get rid of it pretty quick. And the spot CJ's looking at, the guy's wide open. And because there should be a guy guarding the back in the flat. And I think he let it out there and didn't realize that the back didn't get out. And if the back doesn't get out, there's going to be a man sitting right there. So he's just sitting there waiting, so bad play by him.
So he threw it to a back that wasn't there?
No, I think you can't see all 11 defenders on the field. You got to understand and anticipate the coverages. And it looked like a guy was going to be wide open, so you go to let it rip, thinking a back's out here, which would pull a curl flat guy out of there so you can hit the guy in the hole. You don't have the time under blitz to see a guy open and be like, wait a second, is that guy, oh no, I can't throw it. And so he just let it rip, and he's got to learn from that. The guy was hanging there, he didn't see.
Nick had a run of about 12 plays in a row. What did you see from him in that sequence?
I believe that was the threes when we got the move the ball. I mean, he did a good job, but it was the whole group out there. It was nice they kept moving the chains, and when they did that, wanted to give them more reps and let them go on a longer drive, and especially those guys play the majority of the game in this first preseason game, so we wasn't going to do it if they didn't earn it, but they kept getting first down, so we kept them out there, and they got more reps because of it.
How would you evaluate the ones versus the ones so far this summer?
So far, I think the defense has definitely had the better side of that. I mean, they've been teeing off the front. They've been much harder to block this year, and I think they've been very tied together very well in the back end. Usually starts out that way always until you get the pads on. Sometimes that evens out. I think the O's had a couple days, but to answer your question, I'd give it to the D for sure.
Kind of playing on that, big focus for this camp has been, creating turnovers. 2 turnovers there, obviously the interception from CJ and then a fumble. And then almost a second interception, third turnover. What do you think the defense has done to be able to kind of create those turnovers?
They're getting the quarterback a lot faster, and so guys are having to make decisions quicker, and that's what you have to do as a quarterback. It's real easy when you can sit there without a pass rush and think about it forever and wait till someone's wide open. If they're not wide open, not throw it. When guys are getting after you, got to make quick decisions, and sometimes you don't make as good of decisions, and sometimes you don't make as accurate of throws, and that's how you get those overthrows.
When you're getting that kind of pressure as the offensive coordinator, do you change the play calls, or you're just saying, we're going to run what we're going to run in this camp and have to block them at some point?
Yeah, we're trying to get better, and so, if you're going against a defense that's getting after you, like protection-wise, you got to do a lot of things to change. But you're not, at this time of the year, both sides, you're not trying to win the day. There's certain plays that you're going out there that you're going to run no matter what. You need to put a quarterback in the situation, you need to put a receiver, a fullback, whatever it is. There's stuff you're trying to practice at that you won't do in the year. We might have a period where we know we're going to throw it 15 plays in a row. And I hope that I never do that versus anybody's defense, but let alone a good pass rush. That would be very smart. So it's different. That's why we don't get too big into some stats or who wins the day, because it kind of depends on the emphasis of what we're putting the guys through.
Today was the heaviest workload that you guys have given Nick Bosa. What were your impressions, and how eager were you to see how he comes out of a day like today?
I thought he did well. I think we've upped it. I want to say I think he was supposed to have about 16 today, so we'll see if we are on that. I think he's had 12 the last couple days, but he's been very effective in the reps he's gotten. He seems to me like he's out there a lot, because I really don't. I'm always looking down the field, so I don't notice those guys till they flash. So I felt like he was out there every play yesterday. And then I got in, he was only out there 12 plays. So regardless of what he's doing, you want to make the best of it. And today we upped it, and he still showed up a lot, which means he's getting in some good football shape and getting healthy.
Did he force that fumble?
Yes. Yeah.
Did you see what happened, how that transpired?
That was the one that I felt the offense finally had worn the defense down, and the offense was starting to get some momentum. I think we ran it about 5 plays in a row, and you could see the defense was tired, and it was the first time in practice the momentum changed, and that's what was really cool to see, that you can tell when the momentum changed, and you got them, you knew they knew it, but someone's got to step up and make a play, and he came from the backside, and it looked, well, obviously Tevin didn't see him and didn't protect the ball well, he poked it out, and I think it was Mosley who got a scoop and score, so that was a hell of a play at a very important time.
With D Ford, does he just require rest with the knee tendonitis, and did he have an MRI that revealed anything further?
No, I believe he got his PRP. I believe he got his PRP already, so I think that'll be some time. I know we're looking at it day to day, but that usually takes at least a week. But it's something that I think will end up helping him. He could have toughed it out and stuff, but and gone through it like a lot of guys try to do, because guys are trying to make the team and they're trying to get better. But we feel good about where D Ford's at, and we wanted to make sure we took care of that so he could be fresh going into the year.
Did that catch you off guard? Did you know about that during the whole vetting process of it?
You hear about wear and tear on guys, and you get every medical report that they've ever had from their trainers and stuff, and that's been on lists and everything, so you hear about all that. But we have a number of guys with stuff like that, and guys, Staley's gone through stuff like that, and usually you got to do something like what we did once in the year, and we thought it'd be better to do it sooner than later.
We've been rotating a lot at receiver with all the different groups. Is the picture starting to get clear for you in terms of how you see guys fitting in and what that roster crunch could look like?
I got a good idea of the guys that we have and how they're wired, ability-wise. But no, the picture isn't getting clear, because I think we got a bunch of guys who can compete, and I don't see any guys that are just for sure starters or for sure backups. I think there's some real competition there.
I caught kind of bits and pieces of the NFL Network interview yesterday. Did Jed have some critique of you and your play calling and your new wide receiver you showed a couple days ago?
Yeah, he said he really liked the play call that I had that Jimmy caught and made a cut right back into the defense. And I speak sarcasm well, so I knew what he was saying. And we're not going to run that play again. But he didn't tell me we can't run the play again, but I saw it in his eyes, and he was right.
Why was that play installed that day?
Because that's a play that everyone does for a two-point conversion versus man coverage, and it should be wide open uncovered. And Tarvarius Moore made a good play, and and sometimes you got to tell him that's part of football. And I'm not God. Well, hopefully Jimmy's healthy, and I made sure it was to the right side. He cut on his right leg, so it was very thought out by me.
Are you being sarcastic?
Kind of. You can decide. And I also say that I didn't script that one. I called the plays, but McDaniel and LaFleur script them. So.
What does Marcel Harris have to show you this coming months to earn a starting job?
That he's better than Tart. That he's the best strong safety on our team. And that's the same answer for every single person that'll be on our 53. And I think he's taken a step forward. It's been nice for him to get out there early, unlike last year, coming back from that injury. He got some playing time last year, which was good for him, but he's healthier this year, and that's going to give him a chance to push Tart and to push the other guys in the group.
He's obviously pretty physical. Do you need to see just how he is in coverage more?
Just everything, just more consistent. You always want the most physical guys out there possible, but I'm always going to take tackling over just a guy who could just hit. You got to get guys down. You got to be consistent in tackling, not just a hitter. You also got to be good in coverage, and you also can't make mistakes. There's a lot of stuff that goes on out there, and that goes for all of them. It's not just one thing with Marcel, and I want to say it's just one thing with any of that group.
Coming into camp, there was a lot of talk about the offseason message being it's time to win now. And with all the additions that you've made and having guys, some of the guys year 3 in the system, are you happy after a week plus of camp, and is it meeting your expectations in terms of win now focus?
Well, yeah, I think you always want to think to win now, and so I want to be careful with those words and stuff, but I think we think that because it's we feel a lot more confident going into this year, and not just because it's year 3 and that's what we're supposed to say, because of the people. I mean, our players can tell when they're in line and they're looking at the guys in front of them, behind them. There's a lot more competition. There's a much harder decisions, and it, to me, definitely for myself, for any of the coaches here, for coaches who have visited just to check out things from this year compared to last year, it's we're better. We got better people out there, and the guys that we've had around are better. We got to keep them healthy, and still doesn't mean anything that we're better. I mean, we're going to be in close games this year. We've been in very close games the last 2 years also, and that's not going to change just because we've gotten better. Or we're going to be in close games, but we got to find out how to win those games and not just be in them.
I know it's still relatively early, but how do you see the battle between CJ and Nick kind of shaping out right now?
It's still too early. I mean, I got a lot of confidence in both of those guys. You know, I feel I'd be confident for either one of those guys to go in. I think it's a little bit tough because of the reps and some of the situations we're doing, and I don't even know. We rotated, I think, every day, so I don't even know which one's in with the 2s or the 3s, and the 2-0 line and the 3-0 line and the 2-0 line and the 3-0 line receivers and stuff. It's all interchangeable. So they're both good players. It's been pretty close, at least statistically and from a talent standpoint, and it'll be fun to have some games with those two also. And I know they're tight. They're good friends. They both respect each other, but it's a very fun battle to watch.
Did you say how long D Ford might be out after the PRP?
I said I think it'll be at least a week.
Was Marquise okay at the end of today's practice?
Yeah, I saw him on the ground. No one told me anything was wrong. I think there was just an unfortunate accident of friendly fire. I think he collided with someone, 2 guys running, not looking at each other, and I think that's what happened, because I saw him on the ground, and I think it was E-Man apologizing to him, but he got up, and hopefully he's all right.
Will you do a live tackling period at any point during training camp?
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
Because I've learned the hard way watching people do that. Lose way too many people, and the teams I've been on doing that. It's been about 10 years since I've been on a team that does that, and I don't think that's the way to get your team better at tackling. I think that's the way to just CYA, to say we did it. But I've been on a lot of teams that are good at tackling, and we didn't do it that year. And I know we struggled at tackling last year coming out, but for me just to say, hey, we're going to run tackling drills and stuff and do all that, that might CYA for myself to say, see, guys, I put it through it. But I think players look at you like you're pretty phony.
More? What are your impressions of the linebacker crew in general so far?
They've been great. I mean, we got a lot more depth than we had last year. I think we've gotten better too. I mean, just the guys who have come back. I think, Malcolm getting healthier this year has pushed these guys a lot. He battled that from training camp on last year, and he looks good right now, which adds a lot more competition. Added in, the draft pick with Greenlaw. We've gotten some free agents too last year, some undrafted guys. There's some stiff competition, and I see that. And the free agents we brought in, I see that just as stiff as the receiver position, or just as tight.
Let's talk about the receiver position. Has anyone separated himself from that group?
No, not to me. I mean, there's days that you can see one guy, but to separate yourself, you got to do it day in and day out, and I'm still waiting for that.
Is there a chance you would take 7 wide receivers, or is that?
There's always a chance. I mean, and I feel pretty good that we'll see what the injuries are and stuff all across the board, but there's going to be people this year that you don't want to get rid of that you'll have to, whether it's that position, linebackers, quarterbacks, running backs, really across the board. And we haven't been in that situation the last 2 years. And even though it's very tough, I'm very happy to be in that situation. Thanks, guys.